I'm so excited to welcome to my little sofa the first mullet I have seen in decades. Can I just, so it's not a traditional mullet, but when you look at it face on, it's a mullet. Now, at the risk of sounding critical, what the fuck possessed you? Because, you know, over here, we got rid of that thing a long time ago.
I've noticed no one here has them, and everybody's looking at me like I'm absolutely cracked up.
Yeah. So what talk us through, you see this, Sophie has
a
perfect,
presentable,
gorgeous hair. It's a little bit on the flicky, girly side for my liking. But I go, as you'll have noticed, for the full head frizz. But back to the mullet. Why?
Day one of the pandemic, I had to start cutting my own hair, and I couldn't reach the back. So I said, let me keep it.
You can't reach, wait, I'm sorry. How
I
could
couldn't
you not
reach the back with my buzzers. Like, I couldn't see the back of my head.
Oh, you couldn't see it.
So I was like, I'm just gonna leave that part long. And then I started to look in the mirror and I said, oh, he looks good.
Okay.
And so now I love it.
Okay.
That's good.
But my teenagers, I teach teenagers, and they love to bully me and tell me that I look like Joe Exotic trying to fit in at Coachella.
They're not wrong.
How dare you?
But it, you know, for all, now finally, because I always thought COVID was overrated, but now finally I realise the full extent of the horror it visited on the world. And here it is.
You're being like one of those kids on the playground that's like picking on me because you're into it.
Yeah, I am.
Is that a British thing?
Can you see this little flush of excitement?
I can see you blushing.
Oh, maybe I'm really upsetting him. Now, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm detecting a hint of camp.
Wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Are we in the mullet or just in us in general?
No. You're not exactly straight yourself.
Wait, what gave it away?
Yeah, well, guess what? Neither am I.
Oh, okay.
It was the boots.
Okay.
Lovely boots, so jumper boots.
Oh, yeah, well...
I hesitate to ask, but do you write?
I do write. Actually, wait. I do write.
Oh, sexy.
I'm liking that. I'm liking that, yeah. Now then, we have a theme. We always have a theme. Now, it was going to be bad hair, but you spoiled that because you have good hair. No, not true.
Thank you, I'm so sorry.
It's musical theatre, comedy, rather.
I thought you were going to say gay.
Well, as it turns out, hey, let's party. Okay. So, songs. Were you funny before you found songs, or were you musical theatre and then decided to channel your talents? Both of you, feel free. Discuss and then answer.
Should we discuss amongst ourselves and then tell the camera?
Yeah, what was your experience?
Anyway, so my experience was actually...
Okay, good.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I was gay.
Yeah.
No,
You were gay?
No.
Oh, God, just meeting me has put you off women for life.
Okay,
I've had that
I'm
effect.
sorry. So I did musical theater in high school.
Oh, the
And
fool.
I was full singing all the time, and then when I moved to New York, I was like, I'm not going to be that girl that's like standing in a pastel dress with character shoes that's waiting to audition for Broadway.
Getting a vision, it's quite a turn on.
I'm going to date those girls, but I'm not going to be those girls.
Nice.
And so I found comedy, and I started doing sketch comedy over in the city, and like went to comedy school, and then I basically...
You went to comedy school?
Yeah, we have this thing called like the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. Ever? No? Okay, well, see, was overrated.
I've never heard of it either. No, I'm just kidding. It's a big improv school, like Amy Poehler's
sketch.
big improv.
Improv.
Tina Fey, like a bunch of SNL people. Yeah, I know.
Well, UK people hate improv. It's so funny.
Well, I see a lot of improv sets on
Yeah,
here.
I know, per you.
Oh, it's from us? Oh, no.
No, it's just that, I don't know whether it's improv. I think we have a kind of work ethic that says, write a fucking script. Why don't you?
Yeah, I know that is you guys.
You know,
have
don't
that.
just go on, play around, say what comes up your hump, and hope that the audience, you kind of emperor's new clothes, think that because you are the improv troupe and you are on stage, that what you are saying is hilarious, and if they don't get it, it's their fault.
Yeah.
But I mean, good improv is like magic tricks with words.
Yes,
No, it really is. But yeah, I just kind of from there realized I wanted to go back to doing music and sort of started doing music comedy. So really, I was more of a theater kid first. Found comedy, and that kind of led me to mesh the two.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
And I'm
Yeah.
pretty similar, except I started as a hair model, obviously,
Obviously, yeah.
and then changed.
Why, you got fired for bad hair?
How dare you? I flipped the couch over.
She's hitting on you. I can feel it.
I could feel it. I
This
could
is
feel
gonna
it.
turn into
Oh,
a
no.
date or a polycule or something. I don't know. I feel something's happening here.
Yeah, I started writing stand-up like in like the 4th grade for like a talent
Go
show.
you.
I loved it as a
Wow.
young kid. And then I did it like again in a talent show in high school. And then when I was 19, someone broke into my car and stole my book bag that had my computer and my book of jokes in it that I'd been carrying around with me
Oh,
for
that's-
like forever.
That's your life.
It was
gone.
my life. It was like so heartbreaking. And I'd always loved musical theater. And I remember in high school being like, listening to Miss Saigon in my ears and being like, I love this. And then watching like Wanda Sykes or something and being like, oh, I love that too. Like, which should I choose? And something about that moment just like made the choice very clear for me. I was like, I will not do stand-up. If it can all be taken from me that easily. And I was in
Yeah.
theater school, so I started doing musical theater. And then when I turned 30, a manager.
You turned 30? I
Did I
can't
say
believe
30?
it.
I meant 13.
13, yeah,
13.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of Botox. A manager said to me on the phone, I'd been doing a lot of improv, and she said, no one gives a shit about improv.
I love this manager.
she said, I can't send you and 8 of your friends to Michigan to do a comedy festival, but I could send you and a microphone. And I was like, and she was like, you make a little bit of money. And I was like, oh, right. And I've always been a writer. I've always loved writing. So then I started doing stand-up full-time for about the last 5 years. And then I started interacting more with our hodgepodge friends, like Matt Rogers and Catherine Cohen, who had like done a lot of musical comedy. And I was
Yeah.
like, wait, why don't I merge these worlds? Like, I have all these skills. Why am I not showing them off?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have lost friends from by saying things like, but I do believe, musical comics are people with actual skills. Well,
Sometimes.
if you play a chord and there's a wrong note, you go, that's terrible. It's not. I quite like something to hold on to. I like that. The double-edged thing of these are really funny lyrics, but they're even funnier if there's some to waltz time or, it's an added level, and it is an added level that makes you go, that's clever, which you almost never do with straight stand-up.
Right.
Wow.
And I think it's a little harder in a way because you have to fit it into a rhythm.
Yeah.
I have jokes in some of my songs where I'm like, I'll say that to a person conversationally or I'll try it out on someone and they'll be cracking up. And then I try it in the song and it's like, oh, they got ahead of it because it's moving too slow.
Yeah.
So you gotta like really, really, like you said about the difference in improv and stand-up. In musical comedy, you have to like really nail it or it is not gonna get a laugh.
That's absolutely correct. When your first gigs, were you petrified or did you think, ooh, I found myself?
Of course.
I mean, your first musical comedy gigs.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but actually, I would say first stand-up gigs, no. But once I added music, I was like, oh my God, this is a comfortability. And because I wasn't being I wasn't trying to be the traditional, Miss Saigon lead. Wasn't going for that anymore. There was like almost this ease that came to it. Cause like, I don't have to hit the best note in the world. Now, I know I can sing, but I can have fun with it.
Yeah.
And so I felt just all this sort of freedom, and that's when I started hitting my groove. And so if anything, it was just like it it made me feel really good. And also, I remember the first song I wrote was a song about doppelgangers. And how, like, dating your doppelganger.
Right,
like, that's like a big thing, especially in the queer community. But like everywhere, like, do you know how like you like look at like a man and a woman, you're like, are they brother and sister? Or are they dating?
All the time.
Yeah, and so
in gay world, it's really
gay world, it's like you date.
Those are brothers. Yeah,
those are brothers, right? Sisters. Like, because my ex-girlfriend, whom my show is about, we kept getting mistaken for sisters. So it was just.
Was that why you split up?
Yeah. I was like, I can't. The family thing is just too much.
Okay.
I want to be family, but like not like that. You know?
Do you ever? They're 100% original songs. You never dabble into parody.
I do a little bit of touches to the musical Wicked, but it's no parody at all. It's like I've taken some of the elements of the show or characters for the show that nobody gives a crap about, and I've given them their own point of view and their own.
Now, did I read somewhere that I was skim reading? You're not green throughout your show, are you?
I'm green the entire time. I'm painted head to toe in green drag makeup.
I think that's more than kind of a hint to Wicked. I mean, that's not, you know. So, your entire physical being is an homage.
It is, yeah. It was a big, and I think this goes back to your other question too, is like, it was such a big part of my life of something that, at a time in my life where I was pretending so hard to be something that I wasn't, I would like get in my car and listen to Wicked and just like completely gay out. And so there's something about it that's like very close to my heart. And Eddie Murphy always says, if you're doing stand-up, you should be having fun. Like, if you're out there and you're not having fun, they're not going to be having fun.
Oh, 100%.
And singing is so fun that it just, like, clicks into something for me that I'm, like, regular stand-up, I sometimes, you know, I think it's easy to get in your head and think, like, I bet people out there thinking I could do this. You know, if you're funny conversationally, anyone thinks they could be funny up there.
And people always, you know, I get more laughs than that with my friend in the bar, which you may well do.
Likely.
But it's a little bit not the point.
Exactly.
Right.
It's really not. Like, some of the funniest people I know in the world are not stand-up comedians, but
And
I
couldn't
don't think,
be
and
if
couldn't
they
be.
got up there.
Right. Yeah.
All that kind of relaxed bonhomie would disappear.
Exactly.
Because they'd be shit scared.
Exactly.
My favorite thing too is like when I'm performing, because I do a lot of like I don't do parodies. I do like produced tracks. So kind of like like, you know, like Bo Burnham.
I know Bo Burnham.
Okay.
I was on the awards committee that gave him the prize.
Oh my God! So
yes.
he's been a huge influence in my life, and,
Really?
and I've
Same.
always been like, I want to do that. And I remember watching like several of the shows, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, I know I can do that. I want to do that, and I want to be Ed Sheeran. And like I and so I got myself a loop pedal, and I use a pedal in my whole show, and I do like, you know, some looping, and I do auto tune and all of that. And so for me, it's like I want it to feel like a concert and like a vibe.
Wow.
And so each song feels like you're like, oh, that's okay. I'm at an Ed Sheeran concert.
Yeah.
Or I'm at a Taylor Swift concert. Or I'm at, because, you know, if you can't get tickets, you can come see me.
Well, I was just going to say, you're in Scotland now, home to the Let's Look for a Bargain.
So you can give me the $10,000 that you're scalping for Taylor Swift. And so that's, for me, it's always about like a vibe. And I want people to feel like the vibe, but also feel, I'm also a storyteller, so feel the truth of the story.
Wonderful.
Too.
You look like a man with a vibe.
What vibe do I give off to you?
We can discuss that later. So I'm being waved at. So name, place, time of show. Just straight to the camera, please. And because that way you don't really see the mullet.
Perfect. Yeah, keep that out of shot. My name is Tim Murray. My show is called Tim Murray Is Witches at 9:20 p.m. at Underbelly, Bristow Square, Dairy Room, baby.
My name's Sophie Santos. My show is Sophie Santos ... is codependent. It is at Underbelly, Bristow Square, Jersey, 7 p.m. It's a vibe.
Can you see each other's shows?
We
Yes.
can. Yeah, we're going to.
This is an exchange made in heaven. Talk to him about his hair, will you?
I will.
Thank you very much.